much about the things I don't understand. There's a whole bunch of things I don't know a thing about. I just stay away from those. Tom Watson said it best. He said, I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those spots. Well, I try and stay around those spots, and I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I go back and look at the facts. I think that really is much more important, frankly, than having a few points of IQ or having an extra course or two in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability.
The first rule in investment is don't lose. And the second rule in investment is don't forget the first rule, and that's all the rules there are. I mean, if you buy things for far below what they're worth and you buy a group of them, you basically don't lose money.
Biggest mistakes people make when investing?
Well, they try to... They just don't realize that all you have to do is just buy a cross-section of America and then never listen to people like me or read the papers or do anything subsequently. They think that because you can trade, you should trade. If you buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow. The cost of moving around very good. Now you get something handed to you, liquidity, which is instant. You can sell. The cost of doing it are pennies, compared to other kinds of investment activity. So because they can so easily move around, they do move around, and moving around is not smarter than investing.
Warren, what do you consider?
Listen up, MFG. Yes.
It's the temperamental quality, not an intellectual quality. You don't need tons of IQ in this business. I mean, you have to have enough IQ to get from here to downtown Omaha, but you do not have to be able to play three-dimensional chess. So
you don't need to be top in your class. You don't need no fancy suit. You don't need a degree in finance. You don't need to go to Wharton. But you do need an interest.
Leagues in terms of bridge playing or something of the sort. You need a stable personality. You need a temperament that neither...
You need a stable personality. Says Warren Buffett. Hey, man. Yes. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gerald Peters. This is the Money Flow Sunday service. Always remember, whatever it is you think about, whatever it is you focus on, man, that is what grows in your life. That's what Big Daddy Uncle Warren is saying there, that you need a steady temper. You're not a person that loses control and gets arrested, which means then you got to pay for an attorney, tickets, and all this bullshit. Now you have a temperament and you're using what God has given you, the universe, Mother Earth, whatever makes you feel good, your mama. You're using what you've been naturally gifted, and that is your brain. And you don't need to be smart.
Derives great pleasure from being with the crowd or against the crowd, because this is not a business where you take polls. It's a business where you think. And Ben Graham would say that you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people agree with you. And you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people disagree with you. You're right because your facts and your reasoning are right.
I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you.
Love me.
You're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that give testimony rooms to name schools after everything. Nobody loves them.
It's because love is free.
From a value standpoint or not, is whether you care whether the stock market is open tomorrow. If you're making a good investment in a security, it shouldn't bother you if they close down the stock market for 5 years. All the ticker tells me.
He didn't say day traders. He didn't say swing traders. Back it up. Mr. Buffett said investors. See, one of the things you got to understand about the stock market, one is you got to understand that it's this pendulum. It swings. It's chaotic. It's anything but stable. You see what Mr. Buffett said? You got to be the kind of person that's even keel, stoic even, if I could say. Because price is what we're going to talk about. This is what Sunday service is all about. Each Sunday I come here. You want to check out, if you want to get my free ebook, you don't have to die broke. It's kind of fucking, excuse me. So that is kind of required in this money flow philosophy, in the philosophy is more than trading. This is half of it. This is the way. This is how we trade, is that I believe price moves in stages. But we're going to see, you're going to discover that it's even more than that, man. The money flow is more than that. It's a way of life, of seeing value, of seeing something someone else doesn't see, to using one's brain, the one thing we were all given. See, we're all given time. Time. The reason Mr. Buffett is so rich is he's been doing this game, the same thing, since he's like 12. And you're going to hear him see part of the key to success is that what you would do for free. I talk about this sometimes. It says let's pause this. It says we're doing okay. Now, what you see here in front of you, my friends, is a chart from 1896. Talk about a blast from the past. And if you look on the left, it always seems to be the bottom over here. That's the bottom. And as you look to the right, on almost any chart of any time, any period over 10 years of the index, the Dow Jones Industrial, or even the S&P 500, Qs get a little funky. Technology can do its own thing at times. It can break correlation. Doesn't happen often. And correlation is one of the tenets of the money flow trading system. Is we watch the stock market, knowing that, hey, I don't know where the market's going, but I know this. It's very emotional. It's actually chaos, man. New ebook I'm working on, From Chaos to Cash, the mechanics of timing the market to accumulate wealth, aka the bread and butter system. Now, that book's only going to make sense if you have read You Don't Have to Die Broke, got your buckets right, got the fuck out of debt, and now you go open a brokerage account. Everyone in America should have one, by the way. Yeah, it's risky. Yeah, you can lose fucking money. You can lose money at your house, man. You can lose money out here on the street in New Orleans. You can lose money anywhere, man. So don't let that keep you out. Let's see. It's the one place in this world where the government doesn't tax you to get in. If you buy a fucking Snicker bar, you will pay taxes, but not in the stock market.
The price. And I can look at the price occasionally to see whether the price is outlandishly cheap or outlandishly high. But prices don't tell me anything about a business. Business figures themselves tell me something about a business, but the price of a stock doesn't tell me anything about a business. I would rather value a stock or a business first and not even know the price.
Oh, man, oh, man. Man, oh, man, I wish you could say that, man. Do you understand the price of a stock? If you follow me on Instagram and you're behind the little $9 paywall, I've been trying to put out different content for them, showing my portfolio every week, answer any fucking questions they might have. Eventually, I'm going to dump this to them. He's trying to make sense or order out of this chaos, man. Robert Kiyosaki, you might know this guy. Robert Kiyosaki, why saving money is the wrong way to prepare for retirement. I kind of talk a lot about this. It's not so much to thinking, I mean, you can. That's fine. It works. The reason I believe I have an edge is that over time, stocks go up, man. I didn't come up with this. Watch. This is a chart from 1896. I didn't make this fucking chart up. This is called history. And you see the price and then see it today. And it goes from left to right up. But now watch this. Look at this. From November 1948 to October 1949. That's a long time ago. It was 1 year there. The market fell. Market price peaked to trough 20%. Dude, Bitcoin can do that in a day. These guys would have lost their fucking minds trying to trade Bitcoin. 20% was a crash, man. That's funny.
so that I'm not influenced by the price in establishing my valuation, and then look at the price later to see whether it's way out of.
Oh, hey, man. What did that say? What year is that? Hold on. What year was it? 49? I'm sorry. 48 to 49. Oh, right here. Yeah, it came down. Hey, you think that was a good time to buy stocks, man? They said it wasn't. Look, do you see? GDP was crashing. There's all kinds of problems. Oh, look, it's like, man, you don't want to be in a stock market. It went down 20%. Look, now go where we are. It don't even make sense. That's called an edge. The game's rigged, man. It goes up. Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has argued against conventional wisdom that the historical advice to save is no longer a sufficient way to prepare for retirement. I kind of agree with him. I think instead of looking at his savings, I think you should just build fucking wealth and get rich, man. It's the same thing. It's just one's more intentional. That's what Buffett was saying. You're kind of steadfast, stoic. You got a plan. You got a path. This is the way. Isn't that what they say? The bounty hunters say? Well, Robert Kiyosaki says, according to him, you won't be able to retire if you rely on saving money alone. I don't know where he's talking about putting it, but I mean, you actually could save your way to a lot of money. Instead, he said, adjusting your mindset is the key to preparing for retirement. I agree, in the right way, or the way, money flow way. In addition, investing in creating a steady cash flow is the preferred method to stay financially secure during retirement, according to the Rich Dad blog. Well, he don't even write that, bro. Let's see. I hate these that do this. You got to like work through their fucking ads, dude. According to Kiyosaki, the problem with the 401, okay, he's going to bang on 401ks. If you got a good one, use it, man. If I had one, I'd put that bitch all up in the S&P 500. You could sprinkle some bonds and other shit in there, but honestly, I like the S&P, man. I would just invest in bonds outside, me personally, that's what I would do. I'd go 100% S&P, and then my company match me. That would be my banging fund. We'd definitely do it to match, and then outside of that, I'd use for more. And I just kind of consider it part of what I'm doing. Because people had no financial education, that's true. A whole industry was created, financial planning. The problem with financial planners is that they're salespeople and often not investors, and that's true. But I will tell you this, once you get to about 500 grand, I know, pocket change, right? All you guys are like, 500 grand, Gerald? That's not much money. Hold on. Because people I know, that's true, man. Most people do not have very much financial education. Most people I know don't know how to use charts. They've not bought stocks. They didn't make $25,000 to $50,000 this year in Uber, 10, 15,000 in Lyft. They're just not doing these things, and it's not because of intellect. Fuck, some of them smarter than me have degrees, man. They just don't do it. That's it. That's all it is. Says because people had no financial education, a whole new industry was created to scam them. To provide financial planning. The problem with financial planners is they are more salesmen, and that's true. Unless you have a lot of money, they're not really going to do. They're just going to put you in an index fund. You can do that yourself, bro. How to prepare for retirement the right way. According to Kiyosaki's blog, Americans need to shift their mindset for instead of saying, I can't afford that, ask instead, how could I afford it? All right. I guess he thinks positive thinking will do it. And then look for an investment that will pay. Okay, this is what I do. Then look for an investment that will pay for your desired standard of living. Make money work for you, not the other way around. Yep. He says cash flow is king. Kiyosaki also recommend additional tips to better prepare for such an investing in his cash flow. That's why I love dividend stocks. I ain't gonna lie, guys. Anything comes out throwing off money, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put some money in it. I don't even have to fucking think about it. I at least put 1,000 in, see if it fucking works. I've done this on social lending, real estate, Airbnb. Just do it, man. Do things. And as you build it out, no one thing is gonna hurt you, man.
Line with what my value is.
What are, say, 3 pieces of advice you would give to people who are looking to succeed in business?
Well, I think by far the best investment you can make is in yourself. That, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come, they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. I mean, if you can't communicate, somebody says, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas. It's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.
Are you comfortable to?
Pillar number 9 in the 10 pillars of success that I put out. Number 9 is deal and communicate with people effectively. Man, some people need to work on this. You need to know if you knew. You need to be able to walk into a room, any room, read the fucking room, and have intelligent conversations, not creep people out, not be the weird person on your phone, right? You could actually communicate with anyone in this room. That is pillar fucking 9. Deal and communicate with people effectively. No person is an island. Learn to understand and even motivate others. That's what Buffett said there. He said, if you raise your ability to communicate in email, text, whatever form, social media, but I don't like social media.
With what you're giving, I mean, does it feel?
It's exactly what I'm
Does it feel like the right thing?
It's the right thing. It's the right thing because it's going to people who believe in the Gates, for example, that every life is of equal value. I mean, the truth is, I've got a lot of wealth, little pieces of paper, Berkshire Hathaway, they're claim checks on all kinds of goods and services in the world. I can buy anything. I can buy food.
All right, he says his money is invested in Berkshire Hathaway, which is invested in hundreds of other businesses. Here's another tip from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Invest in what he deemed is a truly diversified portfolio strategy, which entails investing in many asset classes as possible. Paper assets, that'd be dividend stocks, right? Growth stocks, real estate, that'd be buying single-family homes. Also paper real estate, which would be mortgage-backed securities, which are REITs, right? And like AG&C, we own some of these. What else he has? Which entails investment and what else he say? Oh, a business, right? A business, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. We do all of this. I didn't know he recommended all of that, but we already do. Why? Because these things set up at different times. And one can assist you help building the other, and you can do what I call rolling profits forward. And that is what I got from charts, man, was just playing the opportunity I was handed. And so you would see this. This here is a standard price chart. The ticker symbol is DRN. This is a real estate chart. So this is an index fund. It's made up of 20 to 50 of the top paper, real estate, the investment is paper. The companies are real. MPW's one. What else? We got closed-end funds like USA, PNNT, GOV, CLM, CRF, GOV. These are companies. These are firms. They're funds. There's MLPs. There's closed-end funds. You simply go read. But these are different type of things. Bitcoin. And at different times, due to the different cycles, the business cycle, not that complicated. Go read. You fucking experienced it. But through the business cycle, different things get pricey, And as you own different things and build out, it's like fishing. You got a lot of poles in the water. What I began to notice about price, man, what I've been trying to figure out is, one, I learned I didn't have to be that smart. That's what Buffett said. You just need to be stoic in a sense, or intentional. You're looking. Well, what did I say in the 10 pillars of success? I described it as how you think is everything. Always be positive. Think success, not failure. Be aware of negative environments and negative people. They think the market's going to crash. Yeah, I'm going to holler at you, bro. You be good, man. Take care of yourself. Why? Because I know fucking history. Apparently they didn't. So look over here, man. Look at 2010. Post-financial crisis. We had a huge crash, 2008. Wiped out everyone. Everyone lost all their money. But what if you just came into the market then? You didn't lose nothing. You're getting started. So when a guy says, hey, man, you think today's a good day? Man, every day's a good day, man. Come on, man. In fact, you haven't done it. It's ridiculous. What about that day? What about this one? Or maybe this one. Or this one. Oh, let's see. Flash crash May. Oh, that was a big deal, man. Look at all these months down. That fucked everybody up. Okay, then we got back. We forgot about that. And then, oh, wait, European sovereign crisis, August 2011. Crash. All the banks are going to go out, man. Never going to recover. In fact, Obama was president. It just never ends, that rhetoric. But what does this say? Always be positive. Always be positive. So, okay, cool. Banks are going down. All right, cool. It's the opposite of afraid. Cool, bring it down, man. Why? Because shit, I own some banks. I'd like to buy some more. See, people that are worried, they don't own banks, man. They don't get dividends from banks. They don't swing trade banks. They're not trying to. We made, what do we make? Almost 60, 70% on our regional bank crisis. It was a motherfucking crisis. And if you were in MFG, you were buying banking stocks at the bottom. They said you can't do that. No, but we bought both bottoms. If you remember back, there were two. Let me see if I can, let's see if you remember this. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just no way. Dude, look how the money flow crushes us. We'll use the bank to come back to this. All right. Based on this philosophy, it's one of the pillars, concepts, 6 pieces of the money flow trading system, strategy, belief, right? There's different playbooks inside of it. There's day trading, there's swing trading, there's position trading. We have a thing we call the BMB trade setup, right? And then we just have good old buy and hold. That's one too, man. And we take that and we lay it over what appears to be the chaos, the movement, the chaotic movement of price. When I call from, and we try to go from chaos to cash, right? That's the goal, the mechanics of timing it. So what I'm trying to do for me is what I began to see is right here. That what appeared to be random, as I began to become aware, like Buffett talked about, and I began to be positive, and I began to learn new skills, and I began to see different ways of communicating. See, money comes from people. And I began to observe, taking fundamental information, head knowledge, just your fucking brain, like just read, look at history, you can see. And then you can go, well, fuck, man, how do these work? You start studying it. That's using your head, man. That's what he's saying. You read it at fucking 8th grade level. This is not complicated. You can go and read and see, does Coca-Cola pay a dividend? And you can go and say, okay, well, how do I know what it should be trading at? There's people that go to college to get degrees, and and for just minimal sums, they'll tell you, they'll follow it. And then you just lay that over the charts, man. And of course, the government, say past performance is not indicative of future results. I know, man. That's why we diversify.
100-foot Johnson had 20 homes and all that. I wouldn't be happier, but they could buy anything. And once they move into the hands of people who are working like hell on getting something accomplished in areas I want them to, I love the idea of getting abused, and that's what they're doing. 3 things in hiring people: look for integrity, intelligence, and energy. And if that person didn't have the first 2, that the latter 2 would kill them. Because if they don't have integrity, you want them dumb and lazy. You want them smart and energetic. Well, I think I say healthy partly.
Pillar number 10, take full responsibility. Is what he's saying there. He says, don't hire anybody you don't think is honest. Don't take responsibility. If they're deceitful, they'll lie. Even to protect themselves in the context of the business means they're not willing to take responsibility. You damn sure don't want this person in charge. Because from the top on down, captain goes down with the ship, man. Anybody, if somebody's fucking up at work and they got a supervisor, it's the supervisor's fault, man. This world turned around, man. You got to take full responsibility. There's no one to blame but you, man. To me, that's powerful. I love it, man. So what I just killed my chart. What I began to see was this right here. I began reading books like Warren's going to talk about here from different people, different authors, and learning how. And I got charts, and I'm paying money for that. I'm taking a course, and everybody goes through this little fumble, this little journey of along. I pulled up that Robert Kiyosaki, because along the way I read his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that got me to thinking entrepreneurial. And I was like, wow, man, there's only so many ways and so many things you can do. Watch this. PetersReport.com. If you go there, it's my page in the MFG. Look at this. There's only 4 things. 3 paths to wealth. Pick one. You can invest in real estate. You can be a business owner. The only 4 things you can invest in. One is invest in yourself. And that's what Buffett said. You need to learn to communicate effectively with people. If you have a problem with that, spend fucking money on it and fix it. Okay. If you have negative thinking, you need to get counseling. Whatever it is you need to do to change your shit, change it. Okay. Otherwise, you're not going to be a good investor. That's what he's trying to tell you, because you got to see hope and opportunity where other people see problems. Is this possible to turn around? You tend to be a person of hope, not delusional. But that's what you tend to be. There are only 4 ways you can invest in yourself. That's number 1. You can own a business. That's the fastest way to get rich. It's kind of hard, though. When I say own a business, meaning if you go away, you keep making money. Otherwise, you're self-employed, which is kind of like having a job. You can invest in business. That would be the stock market. Probably the easiest way to preserve your wealth, for sure. But also, if you develop skills, could be very profitable. And then there's real estate, which also, if you had skills, develop skills, it could be very profitable. Both investing in stocks and buying real estate is scalable. So you don't even necessarily have to be there to collect the money. Can't do that at a job, or necessarily if you own a business. You're going to have to probably be where your business is, at least until it becomes a certain size, I would think. All right, back to this. Now, fundamental concepts here. If you look on this, fear of global economic slowdown, blah, 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 blah. It is always something. There is always some drama. That is the chaos. That is our edge. See, a lot of people think that volatility means risk. No, volatility means opportunity if we always think positive. If we're looking for like we can go back here and be, what is it? Faith. We believe the past is always going forward over time. 70% of the time, it just goes up. It's rigged. Look.
By being happy, actually. I think it really helps if your stomach isn't grinding all the time and you're doing things you don't want to do, or you're working with people that, So I've gone very light on the diet advice. I eat like a normal 6-year-old, but if you look at the mortality statistics, I mean, 6-year-olds don't die very often. I mean, diet's doing something for them. If I gave you a car, and it'd be the only car you get the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe it. You scratch it, fix that moment, you be the owner's manual, you keep it garage, do all those things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you're a little rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind. I think to get through life with and to do the most world.
What does make Warren Buffett happy?
I just have a lot of fun doing my job. I mean, I can do anything I want, basically.
Listen.
As long as it doesn't involve athletics or anything like that. But if it's something I can buy, I can buy anything, basically. I've been on 400-foot yachts, and I've lived the life a little bit with people that have 10 homes and everything. And I live in the same house I bought in 1958. And if I could spend $100 million on a house and make me a lot happier, I'd do it. But for me, that's the happiest house in the world. And it's because it's got memories and people come back and all that.
Wow. Stock market goes up as much as 71% of the time. The problem is it's not a straight line. Price can do one of 3 things: move up, move down, move sideways. I believe price does this in 4 stages by helping to identify these stages. So this is the chaotic movement of time, and what we're trying to do is turn it into cash. And I believe that it's always going up. So this stage 4 decline becomes very, very, very important to me. And my goal is to try to figure out how can I time this intersection between what we call the stage 4 and the stage 1. And the way we do that is with charts. And that's what these are, man. That's what these are.
Sort of thing. So I am doing what I love to do with people I love. And it doesn't get any better than that, Judy. But
and we're knocked over my stuff, man.
I should be. I mean, why the hell would I be working at 86 at something that I don't like, or with people I don't like? The most important thing is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you. I think basically you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people. If you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when obviously you can't pick your parents, and we're going to have enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line.
The money flow. He said you get choices as you go down the line.
I just read and read and read. I probably read 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't read as fast now as when I was younger, but I read 5 daily newspapers. I read a fair number of magazines. I read 10Ks. I read annual reports, and I read a lot of other things too. So I've always enjoyed reading. I love reading biographies.
How can other people tap dance to work? What's the secret of that?
You find your passion. You find your passion. I was very, very lucky to find a, when I was 7 or 8 years old, and fortunately my children have found their passion. My one son loves farming like nothing else. One son loves music like everything else, and all 3 of them love philanthropy and what they get to do. You're lucky in life when you find it, and you can't guarantee you're going to find it in your first job out. But I always tell college students to come on, I'd say, take the job that you would take if you were independently wealthy. You're going to do well at it. The most important thing is to be able to define which ones you can come to an intelligent decision on and which ones are beyond your capacity to evaluate. You don't have to be right about thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. You only have to be right about a couple. I don't have to understand all kinds of business. There's all kinds of business I don't understand. But there's thousands of opportunities there. I did understand the Bank of America, and I'm able to do that. If you think you're going to be a lot happier if you've got 2X instead of X, you're probably making a mistake. I mean, you ought to find something you like that works with that, and you'll get in trouble if you think that making 10X or 20X is the answer to everything in life, because then you will do things like borrow money when you shouldn't, or maybe cut corners on things that your employer wants you to cut corners on. Ted Williams wrote a book called The Science of Hitting. And in The Science of Hitting, he's got a diagram, shows him at the plate. And he's got the strike zone divided into 77 squares, each the size of a baseball. And he says, if I only swing at pitches in my sweep zone, which he shows there, and he has what his batting average would be, which is 400. If he had to swing at low outside pitches, but still in the strike zone, his average would be 230. He said the most important thing in hitting is waiting for the right pitch. In investing, there's no called strikes. People can throw Microsoft at me, and you name it, any stock, General Motors, and I don't have to swing. And nobody's going to call me out on called strikes. I only get a strike called if I swing at a pitch and miss. So I can wait there and look at thousands of companies day after day, and only when I see something I understand